Romance at a glance. Romance at a glance.
What you say now?
Romance at a glance.
Go ahead, girl. Hey, romance besties. Welcome to Romance at a Glance, the episode before season 4 begins.
We are doing all historical all the time in season 4.
10 episodes to make you squee.
Before we get into the 10 books that we picked for season 4, we have some very special thanks to send out along to our special friends on Instagram who recommended us amazing books.
We appreciate the hell out of you for being a part of the process and giving us some steamy, sweet, fun, and authors/books we didn't have on our radar.
While we may not have chosen your exact recommendation, be assured that we looked into all of these books. And by we, I mean Shani did some aggressive historical research. And we tried to choose as wide a variety as possible, while, of course, hitting some historical titans.
So huge thank you to at Molly C. Pocket, our fair and beautiful patron, at Belle Cantu Books, at Lit Wallflowers Podcast, at Hannah Hart's Romance,
at Literary Illusions, at Shandy B. Reads, at Lacey CIV,
at Sarah Says Read, at Christina Hart's Books, at Book Fort Builder,
at Romance Book Dragon, at Cynthia Sachs, at DNA Lara,
at Romance Book Junkie, at The Romance Living Librarian, at Jules Book Blog,
at Historical Romance, and at Regency Romp.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So this season, from all of the recommendations that we got, we are reading Destiny's Captive by Beverly Jenkins,
The Duke and I, Julia Quinn,
The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare,
Bringing Down the Duke, Evie Dunmore,
The Unmasked Heart by Vanessa Riley,
Daring and the Duke by Sarah Maclean. And we got a lot of recommendations from this, including from Stephanie Lauren.
Devil in Winter by Lisa Kleypas,
Lord of Scoundrels by Loretta Chase. And let me tell you, this book was recommended to us the most out of any other book. And I'm so excited for this episode because it is going to be a crossover episode with Lit Wallflowers Podcast. So look out for that.
I'm really sad because it was the most recommended book and I wanted to be there, but also we wanted to do a crossover episode and I'm going to go on their podcast. It's all going to be fine, but I do want to read this too. So probably look on Patreon. There will probably be something where I am talking about this book also. It should be funny. Be excited. Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks.
And The Bride by Julie Garwood. Classic.
You guys, Shani could not have been more excited to be going into 10 historical romance novels for our season. She loves historical so much. And when I say that your recommendations made her a kid in a candy store, like I'm talking about like a kid in a candy store who has no teeth because they had too many cavities and they all fell out. Like she was hyped.
I think that was a turning point in our relationship, Bridget, because I don't think you've ever seen me get giddy like that. And we would be like co-working over Zoom or Google Hangouts. And I would just be squealing. And when I was like looking up the descriptions of the books, and Bridget would just be laughing on the other side.
Yeah. She's like, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? I was like, well, we only have 10 spots. So you really gonna have to choose 10. She's like, I know, but what about, okay. Maybe, okay. And I was just like,
I couldn't choose just 10. I couldn't choose just 10. It was so hard. And there's so many books that are like on the cutting room floor. And I'm just like, no, why can't we do a 30-book season?
I did give Shani carte blanche. So I actually, aside from, sort of gathering your recommendations for her to look through, I really did let her do her thing. Because historical, if you guys have been listening to the podcast, you know, it's not my genre. I have enjoyed the book so far that we have read in historical. It's just not a book that I would ever naturally reach for. And so I was like, you know, these authors, you know what sounds good. You got to do you. So she got carte blanche, and I think she picked some good ones. I'm excited to read them.
I'm very excited because we have at least 1 or 2 Highlander books in here, and you know how I feel about Highlanders, Bridget. You know. Okay.
I've been to Scotland, and I can tell you how I feel about them. I feel good about it. I feel real good about it. There was perhaps a skinny dipping incident and a few locks. I don't know. It's unclear. It's very clear. It was a delight. Scotland,
damn it, Bridget!
Scotland's a goddamn delight. They have the twinkle. Scottish boys and Irish boys. Irish boys especially, but they have the twinkle in the eye where you're just like, let me just cash drop my panties for you right now because you got me. You got me. I'm willing to go wherever. So all these books, I feel like, especially those ones, it doesn't really matter. It'll be almost like a fantasy novel for me where it's like, even if they have questionable behavior, I'm like, but he's got the twinkle. So like, what was she to do? What was she to do?
See, that's how I feel. I'm with you, Bridget, because for me, like in contemporary, I expect the books to be kind of woke because it's in a different time period. But when we go into the past, I expect that guys are going to have much more machismo, and it's just not going to be equal between them. And I'm okay with it. I accept it. And let me tell you right now, if a Scottish lord tells me like what to do, I'm going to be like, yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. You know what I'm saying?
Lean over this table. Lean over this table, you say? Oh, well, what? Yes, my lord.
Hand fasting, you say? Yes, my lord.
Well, I'm free this Saturday next. If you guys want to read with us, we would love that. You can head to romanceataglance.com/upcoming-books to see this full list. You can get your copies. We have links to buy on Amazon and on Bookshop, which supports local bookstores. And thank you for the small commish in advance if you decide to purchase through our links. Doesn't cost you anything. And you can read with us. We are thinking about having a buddy read this season. So if you guys are following us on Instagram and would love to be a part of a buddy read for one of these books, let us know and drop us some messages because we're thinking about it and we're not quite sure. We're sort of thinking maybe Lord of Scoundrels, since so many of you recommended it would be a good one. Yeah, let us know what you think about that because it would be our first time doing it, but we are currently in a really fun buddy read Instagram group. So we're thinking that might be a fun way to hang out with you guys more.
Yes, come be our friend. Also, leave us a review and a rating for the show on Apple Podcasts if you have the time. And if you don't have the time, do it anyway. Recommend a future book for us on there. Screenshot it and send it to us on Instagram, and we will send you some fun stickers. I know they're fun because I designed them, so they're boss.
They are very cute. You can also share the show. Let people know that you like the show. If you are on all the things, all the social medias, even a text message to your sister or your best friend, let them know about the show. The more people we get, the closer we get to being able to get ad revenue, which just helps us make more episodes, do more interviews with authors, and generally give you more awesome podcast content.
I mean, we are kind of awesome, Bridget.
I think so. I think the people like us. I mean, I like you.
I like you too, Bridget. And if you want some fun, sexy romance perks, head to patreon.com/romance@a-glance to become one of our patrons, where we will be posting extra content, kind of stuff that didn't make the podcast and some dirty bits that, ain't for your mama.
Yes, as well as just books that we review that didn't make the podcast because we, again, like Shani said, we only have so many weeks in a year. So lots of extra reviews and different books that we try to convince each other to read. And of course, as Shani said, some steamy personal stories that for timing reasons mostly got cut out of the podcast. Some of it is just because they're a little too raunch, maybe, but mostly it's timing issues.
So until then, romance besties, may your books be your lover.
And your hands your best friend.
Yes!
We'll see you next week in season 4. Thanks for listening.
Subscribe to our channel to get new episodes, clips, and more.
And click here to watch our previous reviews and author interviews.